Afternoon, I'm the Dark Ages with Nick, and today we're talking about Age of Justinian, the Gothic War. I really love the setting of the Gothic War, and I've been for a while trying to find the game with the best Gothic War setting because you might know Total War Attila already has a Gothic War DLC called The Last Roman. I'm gonna explain the differences, but let's jump into the map. First, let me show the factions. There's the Merovingians, who I like. You cannot see on this faction list. It's the first one that pops up when you click the Gothic War. But they have excellent attacking melee infantry, strong economy manpower reserves because manpower is a feature in this, and they are the sharpened edge. Then we have the Swebi, Regnum Sueverum. We'll start with an easy initial challenge, but they're cornered beasts because they're going to be fighting the Regnum Visigothorum. Let's now go into the Yotar, who are, I think, the Utes, but Viking raiders, fire and war and all is all some men know, and so it becomes immune to seasickness and high seas attrition, and they have weak to non-existent cavalry, which in Total War Attila is not good, because cavalry are probably the best units in the game across every faction. But then we have the Ostrogothic Kingdom of Italy, or Regnum Italia, led by Vitigus. And Belisarius has already landed in Sicily and is beginning his push into Apulia, but form up on the double because they have home ground advantage. Now let's go on to Marcina, or Mercia, led by Hneba of the Islingas. Um, these are the Angles. The Saxons are down in the south. I played as Powys, which I'll show the save game. But Emancipators, double unit replenishment when taking on defeated troops post battle. Now let's go on the Saxons, or the mainland Saxons, who remained here, and they're going to be fighting the Merovingian Franks and war fervor. If war is what the people want, then that's what they'll get. Now let's move on to the ancestors of the Slavs, who are more one of the first waves of the Slavs, the Slavines, led by Dragovit, and they are Slavic pagans inhabiting currently what is present-day Bohemia, or the Czech Republic. But now let's go into Brittany, or Brias, who are the descendants, or more accurately, the remnants of Roman rule in Gaul and Britain, and they, you can see, very Romanized equipment, but Pertunum pugnacitas. If you see a Saxon, chop his bloody head off. They have a secure strategic position with extremely limited manpower and powerful and ambitious neighbors. But now let's go into the Regnum Visigothorum. The Visigothi, led by King Theodos, who practice Christianity. I think they might have already converted to Chalcedonian Christianity, but I think now that I said that, there's probably still Arian Christians, but Gothic tolerance. Difference of language and culture matter little when you're building a kingdom. No instability public order when occupying settlements, and tolerance, no public order penalties from immigration in owned provinces. So that is very, very good, but they are vulnerable to unrest and invasion from the Merovingians and the Suebi. And now let's look at Powys, the Welsh kingdom over here. Solid Roman and Celtic infantry, first-class archers and shock cavalry, and low manpower base against numerically superior enemies. I'll show my Powys game in a sec, but we'll jump in first as the Regnum Italia, then as the Expeditio Romano, who we'll cover right now, led by Flavius Belisarius. They have equine expertise, saddle up, and have a biscuit. Manpower and money shortages, solid spearmen and excellent missile cavalry, and strategic initiative because as the game goes on, they'll get more and more reinforcements from Emperor Justinian. But let's jump in as them, and I'll just show you the map, and then we'll jump in as my Powys game, and I'll show you just the recruitment and everything like that. Okay, jumping in, one of the first things to notice is that this uses the Age of Charlemagne map, which is a very, very good improvement considered that the Gothic War map, or the last Roman map, has Belisarius starting in Africa before the Vandal campaign. And so if you're playing as the Ostrogothic AI, you're really never going to see the Roman expedition because they get wiped out so fast. Another thing to notice is that there is no Roman really like there's no Roman Empire faction because every Roman province here is under us, the Expeditio Romana, and we're fighting the Gothic War against the ranked number one Viticus. Uh, but that they are a paper tiger because they can only field about one or two really good armies, and you can see the Imperial, well, more the Ostrogothic army here in Ravenna. And now let's switch over to my Palace game, and I could talk about the recruitment system. Okay, all the way onto the island of Britain, you could see I won against the Saxons and kicked them out of here, and this is my army right here, the will
Ready
of
for
God.
battle.
And now let me show you the recruitment because when I booted up this mod, I was tempted to press recruit units, and then nothing came up. So I was like, what happened here? Where is everything? But nope, turns out it's in this. It's where you have a manpower pool, and you can see all the different units I can recruit. I think some are actually like Anglo or Brit like English
Ready for
units.
battle.
That's what I was trying to say. That I was able to recruit, but mostly my roster is Welsh or Romano-British units that I can recruit. You can see factional unit comes from the factional unit pool, and so I'm trying to ambush
Ready for
these
orders.
angles over here. I show them on the faction map. They have a decently sized army,
Warriors
so
all.
we'll try to ambush them. But let me also now let's jump into the custom battles, and I can show you the different rosters of the factions as well as all the ones available. So for custom battles, it is saved under the Age of Charlemagne instead of the Grand Campaign or the Last Roman because it uses the map, I guess. But these are all the factions available. We can see some that weren't on the faction selection screen, such as the Avars, the Gepids, the Langobards, the Picts. Let me see that. The these Franks, I don't remember the name, the Thurungi and the Irish and the Bascones or the Vascones. But yeah, let's take a look at the rosters. We'll start with the Avars. They presumably are going to have a lot of cavalry and just little Gepid swordsmen that they or spearmen that they recruited. Because they'll sweep across the Pannonian Basin and destroy the Avar Kingdom. But let's now check out the Brit. Let's check out the. I don't know if it's not the British. It's but the Bretons. That's the word. Saxons, Saxones, Lanciari, Louis Petites. You guys can read this because my limited Latin knowledge is failing me. But you can see Legio Bretones, so British legions. Uh, oh, Alani cavalry. They're still around. Um, Roman expedition, probably gonna have the largest roster. A lot of Bucalari. Gepids, pretty small roster. Bow infantry, which is infantry. Oh, I'm thinking of the hybrid infantry. So bow infantry, not that interesting, but they got two melee infantries for some reason. A lot of axe infantry, such as berserkers. And look at this, their general unit is like double-handed axes. Langobardi. Okay, this is what I was thinking. The Archer Raider, so melee infantry armed with a bow. That's what threw me off. Uh, Now, Mercia, you can see these guys were actually one of the few armies I saw in battle because I fought them. The Picts, very small roster, just because they're not playable. They're just meant to be for you to fight. But you can see, you might have saw some of these units in my army when I was showed my save. Now let's go into Regnum Italy, and they have a lot of Gothic and Romanized units. Um, and you can see, I think, Domestis, Patries, Equitem. Now let's go into the Regnum Visigotorum. We'll jump on a battle once I finish showing all these guys. like a Guta Fidelis Regis, so probably Gothic cavalry guard for the king. Then these are the Franks, and you can see they're still using commes and dukes, which will later in the Frankish Empire evolve into count and duke. Um, but yeah, I find the Frankish units or the Franks to look very, very good. So I think I'll showcase them and just um, maybe fight a Saxon army, or I want to show the Romans as well. So, but yeah, oh, Slavs now, battle knife warriors, Druzina. Yeah, very. It's like a different language family altogether than the previous units who are using more Latin titles or Germanic titles. Comitatus, that's actually that's interesting because Comitatus is like the warriors around a chief, and so it's sort of a Latin word applied to the German context. But Suevian nobles and Comitatus Matthias, very cool. Thuringi, yep. Bow cavalry. Ullaid, who are the Irish chieftains. And then the Vascons over here, probably the smallest roster. They only have literally one unit. Spear infantry with some bows. I guess they're meant to be more of an ambush type army. But let's generate an army. Let's I don't really want to fight Avar, so let's generate one of Belisarius's armies. Let's see. I'll see you guys on the map. Okay, we're on the map. I'll just show. I like these little units. Let me see. These are the real hard hitters of the Frankish roster right here. Look at the little banner he's holding. Look at this guy. He's got like a skull cap on. Yeah, not. These guys have the cool helmets though. Let's see. Do we bring? Oh, look at that. Fidelis Regis, the guards of the king, or the riders with the king. Let's see. And Trustus Dominica, or probably trust, like the Lord's trusted retainers. And look at the spears they're holding. I like also, you'll see a lot of lamellar armor, because I think that's a very underrated piece of armor. And look at that. Frankish warriors. Then we have the Milites Franci, so just swordsmen. Now let's see who we're facing. Oh, look at that. They expect us to attack. So let's try to I'll see you guys once we actually can see their lines, because we can only see some Lagobardi that they've recruited as mercenaries. Oh, there we go. We can see some more now. Some Fodorati, Dori Porfirio. So some Fodorati spearmen, then some Scutatai, because this is the transformation from the 5th to 6th century Roman army. And over here we can see Bucalari, beautiful models. I like that a lot. I love hearing like the horse winning as well, but then we have some Lanciari Seniores. Very, oh, look at that. Look at that banner. That is beautiful. Then we have more Fodorati spearmen just in the back. But anyway, I won't show this battle just because that would make this video about 10 gigabytes and I don't want to spend all night uploading it. But anyway, check out this mod. I played 2 games. One is the Ostrogoths and one is Powis, which I showed. I can't recommend it enough. It's a very, very good simulation of the Gothic War, and I find it very good. I'll see you guys next time.